Honda has spilled the details on its new HR-V. Let's get into it. All new 23 HR-V boasts sportier design, more responsive powertrain, thank God, upscale cabin, and desirable tech features. I will be driving it in a little over a week. Embargo ends slightly after that, so by the end of June, you will have full driving impressions on the new HR-V. This is the new gateway drug for Honda. Brings people into the brand. Let's just go straight into pricing, because when we're talking gateway vehicles or entry-level vehicles like the Civic, HR-V is kind of like its sister vehicle now. They're on the same platform. The HR-V is no longer based off of the Honda Fit, which was canceled here in the United States. Rest in peace, Fit. Pour one out for a homie. But here we go. Pricing. Let's just put it out simply. After destination charge, it's around $25,000 to $30,000 depending on the grade, as well as front wheel drive or all wheel drive. Yes, we have all wheel drive again coming for the little. It's no longer little. This thing is much bigger. It's like 9 inches longer than the old HR-V. Wheelbase is like 1.7 inches longer. It's just a bigger vehicle overall, and I think it's really going to appeal to more people. Anyways, pricing, starting about $25K with the LX front wheel drive. If you want all-wheel drive, it's about $1,500 more. They're saying the sport grade is going to be their big seller, and it has the biggest wheels. You spend the most for the EXL, get the leather seats, the moonroof, but it doesn't look the best. If you want the one that looks the best, it's going to be the sport largest wheels, the nice little exhaust tip on there, and other blacked out features that the other vehicles don't have. But looking at the pricing, there isn't that much difference depending on the tier. So very impressive from Honda to give us an affordable, larger, a better looking, I would say, overall, a more premium design for sure than the outgoing HR-V. Fuel economy around 28 miles per gallon if you look at the far right. Of course, maybe a little bit less with all-wheel drive. So let's talk about features. Well, there's a 7-inch MID behind the steering wheel. You have an analog speedometer to the right of that, very similar to like what we see in the Civic Si, for example. There isn't a fully digital MID like you see the Integra or like the Sport Touring Honda Civic here. Standard 7-inch color touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now that's wired on that 7-inch. But the cool thing about that 7-inch is you actually have physical buttons that go with that screen. You have a tuning knob. Yes, a freaking real tuning knob. Long live the knobs. Make sure to check out kkcarshop.com. There you go. Head on over there if you want to support the channel, as well as long live the volume knob, as well as other knobs in the car. Anyways, you can upgrade to the 9-inch screen that we see in the Integra and the top of the line Civic trims. That's going to give you wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto as well on that larger 9-inch screen. What I find interesting, there's no mention of Bose sound system. So you have one sound system in this vehicle, unlike the Civic. We have independent rear suspension, no torsion beam. Beautiful to see, can't wait to drive it. Larger, more responsive 2-liter engine. If I go to the spreadsheet real quick, it kind of gives us a better idea of how the hybrids work here. Well, the hybrid, I want there to be hybrid, the engines, because I looked at this one real quick. So we have this base engine, 2-liter, 158 horsepower, 138 pound-feet of torque. As of launch, this is the only engine available, which is a nice upgrade because we're getting like a 17 horsepower boost and a torquier boost, about 11 pound-feet of torque more over the old 1.8 liter. So fuel economy should be about the same. We have a bigger vehicle, more powerful engine as well. Fuel economy should be around the same. There is no turbocharged engine, unlike the Civic, which is kind of strange, but this is built in Mexico from my understanding, and maybe they just don't have means, or it doesn't make sense logistically to send a turbocharged unit down there. So no turbo, you're not going to see anything around 180 horsepower or that juicy torque either. CVT is your only option here. 6-speed manual is, of course, for the Civic. If I go to the far right here, there's a new Civic hybrid coming this year for the vehicle. And these are the numbers from the European hybrid. I would expect it to be the exact same hybrid that we get from Europe. Interestingly, there's no mention of a hybrid system for the HR-V, for the new redesign for 2023, which is kind of unfortunate because the Corolla Cross just came out with their new 5th generation Toyota hybrid system. So if I were a betting man, I would say there is a hybrid probably coming for the HR-V in a year or two. Toyota's got the jump on them on that though. There's also new hill descent control feature. I found that surprising when I was in the Kona Inline not that long ago, a couple of weeks back, that had hill descent control. The Honda HR-V getting it as well. So we also have really good standard safety equipment here, Honda Sensing, but it doesn't look like blind spot monitor is standard unless you get the top of the line EXL trims. Oh, and we also get on the sport trim. So there we go. Blind spot monitor not on the base LX, but it is on the sport trim as well as the EXL. Here are the exterior dimensions, wheelbase length, height, and width. And also, like I mentioned, the wheelbase is a little bit longer, nearly 2 inches longer compared to the old HRV. This has a massive 2 inches wider front track and a 2.5 inch wider rear track. So this thing is going to feel a lot more planted on the road. Even though it's a bigger vehicle, it's going to feel more planted. It should have better driving dynamics, especially with the larger engine compared to the outgoing HRV. And most importantly, since the vehicle is bigger, wider, longer, etc., rear cabin space and legroom is going to be much better compared to the outgoing model. And they're saying that the steering is going to be very similar to the 11th generation Civic. I love how that car feels when you put it through the turns. So it's going to be like a hopped up a Civic on stilts, which is okay. It's also getting new larger brakes, which will increase the stopping power. So if I were getting this vehicle, I would be getting the Sport, probably an all-wheel drive. Every once in a while in Florida, well, in the summer especially, it rains hard, and it's good to have that extra traction in the rain. So yes, not only does it look the best, the largest wheels, the exhaust tip, as well as the other blacked out features on the vehicle, it is going to be an affordable option as well. So going back to the pricing, we'll just finish out here. I'll leave this up on the screen, the pricing for you. Sport all-wheel drive coming around $28K, and that is including destination 27 miles per gallon. Can't wait to drive it. I'll be in Portland, Oregon for this media drive. Never been to the Pacific Northwest, so I'll be out of my element. I will probably be in awe of the beauty of the area, like I am anytime I pretty much leave Florida nowadays. I get very accustomed to the beauty that I have here. Don't get me wrong. South Florida is gorgeous and stunning. People move across the world to live where I live. And yeah, anyways, can't wait to see beautiful Portland area, Pacific Northwest, and the new HRV. I'll see you guys down below. If you enjoyed today's content, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss my HRV driving impressions in just a couple weeks. See you in the next one.